Hello, and welcome to the HighRoad Solution one-stop demo series on message tags. I'm Jenny Lassie, and I'll be your presenter for today. So I've been affiliated with HighRoad for 9 years, first as a client and then as an employee, with experience handling deployments and deliverability for a wide range of clients with optimized recipient engagement top of mind. I routinely troubleshoot deliverability issues from ISP level filtering to email client level filtering, email forensics as I call them. I also consult with clients on authentication, content strategy, email preference center management, and other deliverability optimization tactics. So today's content, we'll talk about what are message tags, what are they for, and then we'll get into doing a live demo on how you can use them, how you can set them up. So what are message tags? They're really tags for that matter. So message tags in email marketing are a way, in email marketing specifically with your campaign email account powered by BlueHornet, the message tags are an optional feature that allows you to define additional attributes of your message. So most common use is for billing and reporting purposes, but don't let that limit you because there's a lot of creative things you can do with message tags, and we'll highlight those on today's live demo. So for example, you could list the product lines promoted in your email so that you're able to compare emails with product line attributes in your stats. You could do campaigns, you could do billing codes, all these things that you're typically probably used to doing, but message tags might give you a better way of doing something you're already doing. So continue on with the live demo and you'll definitely find some value in this one-stop demo. So let's back up a little bit and talk about what is a tag. So a tag is a term assigned to a piece of information, a type of meta information that captures knowledge about an information resource. And so you might, if you're responsible for adding content to your organization's website, then you might see, different tagging options for the content, for the content that's on a specific page. So that's a type of tagging. You can also tag, blog posts with certain terms or organize, topics. So that way, really bottom line, why are we doing this, right? And so when you look from a search engine optimization standpoint, it's looking at some key factors, not only your content inside your web pages, but it's also looking at the tags that you assign for that. So when people are searching for content on your website, they're going to be able to search for these tags, right? So if you know that they're looking for a particular keyword or tag, then you can definitely optimize your content for that tag. So that's just an idea of what a tag is in general. Now, how it applies to email marketing is a tag that you can assign to each email that basically allows you to track metrics on your emails. Because any time that you have emails that have something in common, you might want to be able to use those analytics for future business intelligence purposes. So why are tags used at all? Basically to track metrics or to search for keywords in the content itself. So, but that's tags in general. All right, so let's go on, and we're going to start doing the live demo here. So let me close out PowerPoint, and let's open up our browser. So we're logged into a campaign email account, and basically, before you go into the product to understand where and how to set up a message tag, you need to understand a little bit about your business and that what are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to tag? And bottom line, you're trying to tag things maybe based on campaigns or maybe even which department is producing the content. You could choose different advertisers maybe that are advertising if you have like a kind of a repertoire of advertisers that are always using buying ad space in your email newsletters. Well, you might want to see, okay, what's the average open rate for all emails that have this particular advertiser in them? That's important information because not only could you very easily, it might take you forever to, first of all, to get through or to get to that information if you weren't tagging your emails somehow, right? So message tags are a way to tag your emails so that you're able to aggregate that information based on attributes of your emails that they all have something in common. And that's the key thing here. So once you know, okay, well, we have advertisers, or maybe we want to use message tags for campaigns. Now, if we go under messages and create message here, we're going to see these message details, and these are the typical right out of the gate what you're used to seeing. So you give your email a unique message name, because that's a unique identifier for an email in the system, but you could always assign it to a campaign, right? And now here's a first improvement opportunity. This allows you to associate your email with a single campaign. Well, what if there's more than one campaign that your email could be associated with? What do? Well, you could actually have a message tag called campaign, and that would appear underneath here in message details to allow you to choose multiple campaigns. So this is limiting in that it limits you to one campaign, and this is bill codes here. Bill codes, a lot of customers are using this to help do custom reports so they can parse out their email volume between departments in their organization so it comes out of a particular department's budget. But bill codes is a free-form text input field. Where is there room for opportunity? Well, guess what? People mistype things all the time. And if you want to prevent that from happening, you could create a message tag with bill codes that has a pre-formatted, pre-populated list available in a drop-down menu to prevent any, unfortunate fat fingering is the term I like to use. But bill codes, it also might be that, maybe there's different departments inside your organization that are contributing content to your email newsletter. So one bill code might not cut the mustard. Well, guess what? There's a character limitation in this field itself, so maybe you're not able to add all the applicable bill codes to this field. And even if you did, you still might be mistyping them. So why not dummy-proof it for any users that might, have an off day with their keyboard, and just give them a pre-populated list to choose from. So it's just a way of using message tags to optimize these items here, which you already might be taking advantage of. Now, also for advertisers, maybe you want to create one for advertisers. I'm just throwing ideas out here because there might be uses for your organization for message tags that maybe we're not going to talk about today. But if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to your HighRoad support team at 703-297-8886, and any one of us would be able to help you out through this via a webinar. Okay, so this is where message tags would go once they're added to the system. So let's go ahead and create a message tag. Under the administration menu, you can go to email sending defaults, scroll down, and manage message tags. Now currently there's no message tags in here, but if there were, you could certainly edit them, add additional items to the drop-down menu, but let's go ahead and create a new message tag. We'll call this bill code. Now, I'm going to call this bill code part 2, just for demo purposes so you can know. We can completely remove the other bill code freeform text input field so your users are not confused. But I'm just going to call this bill code part 2 so we can see visually where this will fall into the message details. So I'm going to select, we certainly don't want an open text input. You certainly could create a message tag for that. However, that still allows for user error and spelling errors. So let's go ahead and create a selects menu. So we're going to create some bill codes here. Okay, and maybe you want to select something that's other, because maybe, maybe the one hasn't been added yet. Now, if that is ever the case and you need to add other values to it, you can edit the message tag, but sometimes you need a catch-all other, especially if you're requiring this field, because you certainly don't want to prevent anyone from launching an email. Now, you could make it a single select menu. So basically, they would be choosing, from a drop-down menu, a single select or a radio button. And then you could also allow them to do multiple select menu. And so this is where it gets interesting, because any time that somebody has more than one bill code that's applicable for their email, they now have the choice to enter 2 different values, or 3 or 4. So let's go ahead and choose how we want these values that are entered here to be sorted. We can list those values alphabetically in ascending order or descending order, or we can list the values in the above order. Now, a lot of customers do this simply because they might have their top two at the top of their list, the ones that are most used most frequently, and have all the other ones alphabetized underneath that. But then if you do this in list the values in the above order, then you're in control of what order they come in. Now, you've often seen this in a drop-down menu if you're asked to choose what your country is. Well, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have a United States option right at the top and let all the other countries fall underneath if the primary people visiting or interacting with that drop-down menu are from the United States. It's making it easier so we don't have to scroll all the way down, all the way to the U's to make that selection. So we're going to create these values. We're going to make it multiple select, and we're going to list the values in the above order. Show on properties page? Yes. This will allow any person that's launching an email in your system to interact with this item. Now, you can make it required or not required. In some cases, if you want to force somebody to make sure that they're always making a selection here, you want to make it required. Okay, you could also choose to hide the tag on the message properties page without needing to delete it. So since we're showing the message on the properties page, we're just going to scroll down and hit save. So we just created a message tag. Now if you see, if we go under create message, we have an additional option here, and you can see that it's required via an asterisk. Okay, let's go ahead and now choose another message tag, or create another message tag rather. And we're going to call this one campaign. Multi-select. And we can give it a select menu, and we can put in our campaigns. So we can put in marketing, maybe communications, maybe advocacy, and we'll leave it at that because I'm out of ideas. No, I'm just kidding. So we have a multiple select menu, and we can list values in, obviously alphabetic ascending, descending, or in the above order. If we want to give it another, we can also choose other and have those in the above order. Show on properties page, have it be required, and save. Great. Now we created a message tag for both bill code and campaign. Now, we can't remove these campaigns from the message details, but this would just allow anyone to be forced to make that selection. So now if we create a message, and we'll be forced, we won't even be able to get past this section. Like if I were to choose basic test and try to hit next, we're going to get an error message that those are required. So it does stop the person from being able to advance to the next step until they choose a value, which obviously is part of making it required. So let's go ahead, and so say we want to associate it with 2 different bill codes. Great. And say we want to choose, we have content in our newsletter that's coming from marketing and advocacy. Okay, so we make those selections and advance. So anytime we could send ourselves many basic test messages, and then once that email is ready to go, we can send off our live message that is tagged correctly. Those tags will follow it. So I'm going to go ahead and let's actually go back a step here, and I'm going to choose standard test message, which will send the message immediately, but allow the reporting to come through. So I'm going to go here, and next. And for all practical purposes, I'm just going to put test in here instead of actually craft a message for you. And next, the configuration stage, we did not use any links, so we're going to go ahead and send now. And review and send. Okay, so I'm going to send out this message. and that does get deployed immediately. Now, once an email has been deployed and users have had an opportunity to interact with that, then you can start taking advantage of the reporting details, okay? Reporting details are batched and updated to your reporting every 10 minutes, but so just know that you want to let the life of your email live a little bit, at least for 48 hours before you can pull a custom report to really get a good idea of what those final metrics will be. Now, how do you use this information, right? So we tagged it, so what? Now what? Well, you might want to create a custom report on that information. First, if you wanted to look at the stats for that message, you could take a look at the message details and see what your message tags, which message tags were used for that particular send. They're always, looks like I have a blank character here, but they're always separated by a comma when you're making a multiple select. But now you can see, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 4. So I want to find out all emails that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to take notes here. And maybe marketing. Okay. So how you would use this information is first you'd look at the tagging system on here if you needed to understand which values are there. Obviously, if you're unsure of what values are used in a message tag, you can either go to Messages, Create Message, and take a look at what those options are, or you could simply go to Administration, Email Sending Defaults, Manage Message Tags, and edit either one of these to take a look at what values are in here. Now, what do you use with that information? That is the big ticket item, because just because you have data, it doesn't mean you're using it, and really what's the point of collecting it if you're not going to use it? So let's go ahead and go into Reports here and go to Create Custom Report. So we can see here in the Create Custom Report UI that now we have 2 additional attributes that we can do a custom report on. So custom reports are a way of aggregating major email metrics for anything that emails have in common. So again, if you have like a, maybe a common word in your subject line, you can search for that, or maybe common message notes, bill codes, campaign. But really, this allows you to be very, matches exactly. So you might want to say, okay, bill code matches exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and campaign matches exactly MKT, right? So you're looking for anything that has this bill code that is from marketing, and I want to find out what the stats are. So I want to say marketing stats and save. Then once that email custom report is available, you'll see that it's available, and you can go ahead and view that. Now, if we take a look at any of these other custom reports, if you've never done a custom report before, I highly suggest that you try it. When you view a custom report, the information that's available to you looks very similar to what you might see in a normal statistics report, but you can also see that we're reporting this. You can look at the reporting details, or what criteria we were using for determining our custom report, but you can see the messages and the delivery and the activity. So that's important. So these are the messages that were associated with that, or that were aggregated for this particular report. And we can see under the delivery tab the total number sent, delivered, and bounces. So we can see, okay, well, what's our average bounce rate for the list that marketing uses? And then we can use that information. And activity, you can see opens, clicks, and opt-outs. So this is aggregating for all 3 of these emails. So you don't need to look at the stats for each one of these emails and report that, especially if you're pulling those numbers into some other type of format, like an Excel spreadsheet. If you're doing your own reports and submitting them to your clients, or submitting them to your direct report. You could also export this in CSV, XML, PDF, and Excel format. So you don't need to do and pull your own numbers from all the different stats, but you could actually use the custom reporting just to export here and hand it off, and it looks nicey and everybody's happy. So this is just some ways to use message tags. And but say you wanted to, maybe you're going to start selling advertising in your communications. Well, first of all, the advertiser, you definitely would be needing to provide any kind of reporting in terms of click-throughs to that specific ad, so then they can make the call on their side if anyone actually was, converting or purchasing from them based on the source of your email. But you can go ahead and create a message tag. Let's call this advertiser. And we'll make it a select menu. And maybe you only allow, one ad per email newsletter, or maybe you have multiple. But let's, for the sake of this demo, let's say that you have one. So we'll call this Dell. We'll call this IBM. Call this Microsoft. Let's just say you have you sell very expensive ad space that Dell and IBM and Microsoft would use. Well, let's use a single select menu this time, and then we could list the values again, ascending, descending, or in the above order. We'll just go ahead and use it alphabetical. You can show on properties page. You can make it required and save. Now, once you hit save, if you make something required and someone is in the throes of creating an email, that would be available to them. So now we can see that we have to choose an advertiser, a bill code, and a campaign. So I forgot to put another category in here, because if there is an advertiser that's other than Dell, IBM, and Microsoft, it would not be in here. But let's just say for the sake of this demo, we choose Dell. Choose our bill code. And it's marketing. We're going to send a standard message. And why am I using a standard message? I'll just talk about that briefly, because some people are used to the workflow process of doing a basic test message to send themselves as many possible emails to get the look and feel of your email to be where you want it to be, and then they just skip right to live message. If they want an intermediary step and you have maybe a group of testers and you want them to see all of their merge tags, so maybe all the personalization you might have in the email. Basic test messages are pulling from a test list and not from the database itself. So if you're using merge tags, you'll definitely want to send a standard test message that sends immediately. It just really bypasses the whole 5-minute delay that a live message has. Obviously, it's going to stop you from sending to any larger segments because it does have a 100 recipient max. Okay. And we can just, for all practical purposes, this is my very sophisticated email newsletter that says test. Go next. Send now. Okay. So message sent successfully. Now if I were to go up to reporting and create custom report, I could create a custom report based on advertiser. So if that is something that you guys are interested or applicable to you, that way you could see, okay, well, I want to find advertiser matches exactly and Microsoft. Okay. And maybe you're interested in just reporting what the open rates were, the opt-out rates, and everything for any emails that have the ad in here, or maybe you want to just see, the opens. Okay. Now, obviously, if there's no matching messages because the message tags, or, the values that you chose, if there's no messages that you've sent that meet that criteria, you're going to get the no matching messages. So I was just creating these custom reports based on hypothetical situations. So advertiser Microsoft is currently pending. And if any time you feel like, okay, well, maybe tomorrow you do send an email that does use that, marketing's bill code. And so before you ran the test today and there was no matching messages, but maybe you send 1 or 2 tomorrow that do meet that criteria. Well, you can reprocess a custom report. Basically, that just reprocesses it based on the existing criteria, and we'll pull it all into one interface. So you can set up a custom report and use that in the future just by reprocessing it. So that would conclude our demo today on message tags. Thank you for joining us.